Sneeze. Okay. Welcome, everybody, to our coverage of this NBFL Game of the Week. It is essentially the season finale. There is one other game to be played, but it is inconsequential as far as the playoffs go. But this game is not. This game matters. The Brew More Gents, the Dwarf team in red, coached by Ryan Fitz, they need to not lose. So they can draw or they can win, but either result will get them in the playoffs in their first season. Their opponent is the new Zigguratland Chariots, the Chaos Dwarf team in blue. They'll be taking the field shortly, coached by Wolves. Wolves is already locked into the number 2 seed. He's had a very fine campaign. We thought perhaps that Miami would be the runaway in the division, but nay, the Chaos Dwarves, scrutinized much in the preseason. They've exceeded expectations. Their Bull Centaurs are studs, and they're looking good. They just have to avoid the casualties that could doom them in the playoffs. Eagerly awaiting these results in this game, I suppose, would be Astaflix, the other contender for the final playoff spot. If Brew More falls, then Astaflix wins on tiebreakers and he gets the 7th seed. So, a couple teams needing a favorable result tonight. Playoff picture pretty much set otherwise. So, welcome to the booth, Wog. You are one of those coaches who, you're in the tournament.
Yeah, man, I made it on in there somehow. Squeaked in.
Yeah, big win in your season finale against Nelfine. How'd you pull it off?
Well, early on, Nelfine gave me a shot. It didn't work out, and he made some blocks, and my guys mostly stayed alive, and he gave me another shot, and I took it, and it worked out.
Well, there you go.
Bottom line, I mean, that's just... Sometimes all it takes is one mistake. I think he just made the one, and his glorious wizard fail, too, was great and helpful.
That never helps. All right. So in this game, we've got a wizard and a star player, the legendary Morg, taking the field for Brew More, who is no stranger to getting inducements this season. They've had a low TV the entire time, and they've taken advantage of it. A little surprising they're not going with any bribes. It's kind of been their bread and butter. But mayhaps for Morg, he's just that damn good at Strength 6, Movement 6, AV 10, Block, Mighty Blow. It does have Loner, but when you usually get a 3-die with him, maybe it doesn't matter. Are you surprised, Wog, that he went with Morg instead of going with a more diversified approach, since he's got one claw, it looks like?
I mean, Morg's going to end up being more common. I just know so little about dwarfs and chaos dwarfs. Like, I couldn't really comment.
Okay.
I know Morg's not a very common inducement, but I don't really know what star players they have available. I mean, I think a star player is the right choice. I don't know that Morg's the right one.
You wouldn't go with like 2 bribes and 2 appos and I don't know what he's working with exactly numbers wise, but he's 430, so he's not cheap.
Yeah, I don't know. Bribes are not my favorite inducement. Like, I don't really foul.
But have you seen Ryan Fitz play?
Oh, I've seen Ryan Fitz play.
He's a man who loves the foul.
He loves the foul. Yeah, he drops the boot often. Yeah, Ryan Fitz is in our NWBL league too.
Okay.
And he's done quite a bit of boot dropping there as well, so it's definitely his thing.
It is definitely his thing. Let's see what this Minotaur does, which is nothing. I'm taking a peek at the Dwarf star players available in the 2016 rule set. There is a guy with a little cannon-looking thing on his shoulder for 60k. There's Boomer, who I guess is a bombardier for 60k, which is interesting. Chainsaw for 130k. Strength 4 Dwarf Slayer for 220. Zara for 270, and then Morg. So there's not a ton of appealing options for star players.
No, there's nobody there, is there?
I don't know. The Bombardier would be interesting, especially since Chaos Dwarves like to kind of like bunch up and be together with their like big hats and stuff, and maybe you could have had some fun with that.
Well, yeah, but he doesn't really. He's not really trying to have fun this game. This game, he's going to actually want to try to win. This is a big one for him.
It is a big one. That doesn't mean he's any less inebriated than he would be normally. Ryan Fitz, he probably plays better when he's got a few drinks in him. He's a little wild, that's for sure.
Yeah, Fitz is such a gem, man. He's done a lot of work on that NWBL league. He did the whole team page or group page. He's updated all the uh, stats and everything. He's done everything for that on that side of it. And then he also came up with a redraft sheet for us, so everybody can just plug in their players and skills and everything, and it just does all the math for us. So, and then look at this glorious. He made this logo too, didn't he?
I bet he did. Yeah, Ryan Fitz is a very, very old throwback coach in the NBFL. He's been around since the start before his hiatus, but he ran a lot of stuff back in the day between the draft and logos and team pages and everything else. He's quite the gent, as you were saying.
So it's fun to see him do so good too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, his play style is very unorthodox. He's the MRT before MRT.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Except he doesn't use... Well, that's not true. He did use elves. He used to run a pro elf team in Miami a long time ago called Miami, and I think all their player pictures were Calvin and Hobbes, like pictures from various cartoons. Very successful team. He had a strength 5 pro elf catcher that was clearly a big deal. It was a problem for a lot of us to deal with, and it was a fairly successful team, and he would still obviously drop the boot despite playing elves because it's Ryan Fitz. What else would you expect?
Right. Well, some of these things are, I think we're due for the 2020 change here, not next season, the season after. And some of these things are just going to change. Like, elves are going to be pretty darn good at fouling here soon.
Okay.
And Morg is going to be great. We're going to see a lot more Morg.
Unfortunately, yeah. I think I had his teams mixed up. There was a Miami team that was Dwarves in Miami first, and then he had the Pro Elf team, which was Mon-Ami, which I think was a French pronunciation, so I'm mispronouncing it, but I think it was because Calvin and Hobbes, is that a French comic? Does anyone know offhand?
No, I don't think that's French, is it?
I don't know. Regardless, I think his team was a little bit French themed and everything else. It was a fun team. He's been around for a long time with different groups, and he's unfortunately trying dwarves, and he's doing fairly well with them, despite all of our hesitation in the preseason. Baz looked at the roster and said there's no guard, there's like a couple stats, and just, there's no way this team could win. And then they just started winning, and they've kept winning, and they're in contention for a playoff spot with the final week in hand.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of induced his way to the top, hasn't he?
Pretty much. When you have a low TV, you're going to get those bribes if that's your strategy, and getting the other team off the field and using your one good ball carrier to dominate the ball it's been a successful formula so far.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, like, playing this huge dark elf team, like, inducements suck. Like, they suck to play against. It sucks to have
extra apothecaries and shit. You're like, I can't keep them off the field.
Well, my team's not really keeping too many people off the field, but the wizard is either devastating or garbage, and it seems like a lot of my games have hinged on whether or not the wizard was successful or not. Dash just like destroyed me with the wizard, and Lorebash just like took everybody off the pitch with the wizard, and then Nelphine tries it and it does nothing. And I think when I played Arcane, both times his wizard failed. So it's like the
So,
wizard is just, it's really tough thing to play against and with. And
so you're telling me there's absolutely no skill involved in this league, and it's all based on whether your wizard works or not.
no, not at all. I'm saying that I seem to win or lose based on how well people's wizard does.
Okay. Well, we are going to see a wizard here today. Most likely. I suppose there's always the option that he doesn't need to use it or he forgets about it. But I've kind of had the same thing happen to me as frogs. I've got little fat on the TV for much of the season. Not so now with my team being beat to shit, but yeah, trying to deal with a wizard and deal with, for example, 2 strength 4 ward answers from Gark or whatever else people are throwing at me this season. It's a lot to think about, and it's quite a pain.
Yeah, so what are you thinking? You thinking you might stray away from the frogs next season?
Maybe
There's going to be a change, and your team's beat to shit. Maybe try something new.
mayhaps I'll have to see what's available. I suppose.
Where do you think you're going to be picking at?
I was stupid and decided to win the other day, so now my record's even better, even though it's not that good. So when people like Archaean and Fool are messing around with 1-win seasons, I mean, I'm probably picking like 10th or 12th or something, so I'm not even sure it's that good a position to be in.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it too much. I mean, I think the draft is going to be pretty rich and some really good players. So
What about
I think you'll be all right if you want to do that, or if you want to rebuild. I think that you'll probably be all right too.
what about the X-Pan draft? Is that one going to be pretty chunky, or is it going to be like it was when I drafted Frogs and had to take linemen because there weren't any Vendlytics available for me?
Um,
You just threw a 1-die block to start that sequence.
yeah, that's
Classic Fitz.
classic Fitz. Yeah, I mean, what's he do otherwise? Does he take this blitzer up? And I mean, I think he's sort of taking a 1-die anyway. No, okay, those 2 Chorfs are rookies, aren't they? Wow. Um, I don't know. I haven't really started messing with the X-Band at all yet. So you just have to sort of think about what teams were around 2 seasons ago. My Lizards should be going into the X-Band.
That's right. You did run Lizards for
One just
half a
filler
season?
season.
Yeah.
When I came in, well, half a season.
Yeah.
So those guys will be going back in. There's a couple of quality strength players from that. And it's hard because, like, we got to think about that season and what teams left that season. The Egos could end up in the X-Band.
That name sounds familiar. Was that Archaean's old team?
It should sound familiar. X, you had to play against them for,
Yeah, but I beat him every time because the team was dog shit.
The team is not dog shit. You need to click on Archaean's.
Wow, he just went for a foul in a tackle zone?
And go look.
And it worked?
That's classic Fitz.
That's classic Fitz. Did he just foul an AV10? He just fouled an AV10 Chaos Blocker
Ryan.
and got him. Wow. Well, he's living up to his name, but that's
He fouled somebody with his own name.
in a tackle zone with no assists and broke armor with just the plus dirty player. The dirty player actually was the difference there, but wow.
He didn't die.
No, that's ridiculous though.
Well, so we'll see here. Another cool thing that happened when I played Nelphine is that he couldn't seem to keep a skink on the field. So let's see if taking out some of these hobos early might be a good idea for Fitz too.
I mean, I think we all know that the secret to scoring with lizards is not the skink; it's the Saurus scores. That's how you should be playing them, and if you're not, then you're doing it incorrectly.
Well, I'm less than an expert with lizard men, but it seems like the guys with low AG should be doing the hitting, and the ones with the higher AG should probably do the ball carrying.
See, see, that's where you're wrong.
That's
Because once you get
sort
it
of
into the hands of the strength 4 guy, all of a sudden it's like, whoa, that's twice as strong as the ball carrier normally is. It's that little stunty bastard who I can break by breathing on him, and now it's his big ass, brute looking, ripped ass lizard. Like it's a whole different ball game.
I mean, I think it worked really well for you in NCBB. Obviously, that went really well for you. I think it's a little bit different of a story. I think for NBFL because there's so many more plus strength players. Like strength 4 is
Not uncommon.
right.
Yeah. I've
Although
had
Neil's
different.
got the strength 5 Saurus, so
That's not worth it. But no, I've had different ball
strength
carriers
5
over the
break
years.
tackle.
That's better. But no, I've had the plus agility, sure hands, block, break, tackle, score, Saurus, get to the title game. I've had the ridiculous movement 10, agility 5, block, skink, get to the title game. So it takes all kinds. You just work with what you got in the college bubble.
Yeah, I mean that guy's probably going to be in the draft.
He's got a point. Good old Kyle Harmon. Guarantee he lasts till game 2.
um, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I'm not the head draft guy, but I think that class is probably the one coming in. So
Oh.
it's going to be a rich draft. Probably be a good idea if you're going to switch races. That would be a good time.
Or I could redraft frogs. Maybe I think that's an option where you like stay the same race but just clear your roster and draft again. Because I don't know, I've enjoyed the team. I think it's currently
Is that
skewed.
an option? You can just like say, okay, my team's destroyed, and I'm just gonna clear it and redraft it like it's a new one.
Maybe I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't love how it's currently constructed with all 4 catchers being pretty bloaty and then all my blitzers being what's the word I'm looking for?
Crap.
Dead. No, the ones I have are fine, but the other 2 got killed or worse. So
Oh, so you just need two blitzers is what you're looking for in the draft.
yeah, and then I'll be a fat frog team again and face wizards the whole season, and it'll be the same old story again. So I'll have some decisions to make in the next month or so.
When Grew did all that winning with him, was he fat or was he lean?
He was fat, but he also had super blitzers. If you may not remember, he had one. Toady Nelson, for example, was like a strength 4, agility 4, block tackle frog blitzer. And when you could leap anywhere on a 2 and your strength 4, you can 2 die or at worst 1 die most things in the league. He got a lot of ways to win games.
Yeah, and I think that that's a big difference maker in the NBFL. I mean, look at this, right? I mean, our number 2 seeds got these 2 ridiculous bulls.
Yeah, I mean, strength 5, agility 4, blodge versus movement 8, agility 4, block. You'd love to have tackle or guard or like other skills, but they're so ridiculous. Maybe
MA8 agility 4. That's yeah.
that's crazy. Plus, with sprint and everything, you get up to 11 squares. Like, how do you defend from that?
He's a strength 4 wood elf catcher.
Winter Green pointing out his frog team from looks like ranked, and yeah, those are some very nice players. I'm not sure why he took Juggernaut on a Croxagore, but having block on him is nice. Agility, Blodge, double strength blitzer, not bad. Blodge, strength, sidestep, agility. Man, his team's better than mine. So yeah, I mean, I never played Salon before. I'm still learning, and it's been interesting. So we'll see what I do. We'll see.
Yeah. Excuse me, didn't mean to cough into the mic there, but
No worries.
it's gonna be it's gonna be interesting. Like I'm excited for the change just because it's gonna be interesting to see what people do.
Yeah, I mean, we've
You know,
all.
like is XCon gonna just go ahead and redraft the season, or like what are people gonna do who play, you know, this team or that team, and they've got this player that's sort of obsolete now, or you know, they'd like to get more of something else on the team. Um, so it's going to be interesting to see how people like. What's Gru going to do? Is he going to you know?
He said he's kind of pondered switching to corn. You know, the monkeys have kind of gotten dinged over the years. They lost a gorilla recently. Devonte Adams has gotten a perm again after already having a potion put on him previously. So, you know, there may be some
Oh
time
man,
in the
that means
future.
nothing.
I mean,
Stem played with that busted player for how long?
like the quad perm blitzer or whatever, or was that
He was my
MIP?
that's my favorite player of all time.
Yeah,
I want his trading card.
I had a player like that in the Secret League Americas. It was a basically pro elf lino, but he was minus MA, minus strength, and minus agility. But I never had enough money to really have a lot of depth on the team, so I just put him out there on the line of scrimmage, and he would get knocked out in the first two
What is
turns every game.
what is Wolves doing?
He's flipping the field. He's got those
Is he
little
going to pass
dwarves.
to Russell Wilson?
No,
What's
no,
he
no,
doing?
no. Just you make the dwarves adjust. They're little slow bastards, and he's got them outflanked now.
Has he got? Yeah, I guess he's got enough players over there, doesn't he? But Fitz is going to take some kind of weird one die or half die and end up with the ball. Watch this.
He's gonna sneak through the middle. You think?
Nah, I don't. I'm just being goofy, but
No, that's what Fitz does.
It's true. He'll find a route. Welcome to the booth, Amon.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Speaking of playoff teams, how's it feel? You're the West champion from my old division. You're going to be representing Nurgle. I think the only Nurgle team in the playoffs. So what are you feeling like right now?
Well, it felt good to win last night, but I'm not looking forward to playing him again because he's going to play me much different.
Who's your matchup?
Rels again.
Oh, Christ, that's that's not a fun one.
Well, I got tense and he got agility 6, so we'll see which wins.
And agility 5 and movement 10 and a strength 4 agility 5 storm vermin last I checked. I mean, I know he's lost a few players, but that roster is not fun to mess with.
yeah, Tense was a really good choice though, knowing that you're going to have to play him again.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, 2 5-string 10s. I wish I had another, but you know, I have what I have. So a lot of tackle too. Ask Lorbass.
What's it been like in the West these days? I know Doofer just switched from Dark Elves to Wood Elves, and then Jamon's been with Lizards for a while now. And Garnak, right, he came in with Chaos this season.
Yeah, Garnak takes no claw, no mighty blow, and he hurts every single one of my players.
He had some interesting skill choices. I remember I thought Earl Varney was the best player in the X-Band draft, and then he decides to do something different on the 2 free skill rolls than we thought he should have done, and then the guy gets permed. So clearly the experts were right this time.
And that was my guy too. I wanted him so bad.
Oh, that's right. This your old Illinois Valley player.
What's Fitz doing here?
Setting up some blocks and
squaring them up,
doing some Fitz things.
He's going to get beat up.
Yeah, but they're dwarves. They got armor and shit, and he's gonna throw a dauntless 2-die block on Travis Lewis and stuff. I don't know. I can't really predict what Fitz will do. He's probably gonna 2-die the Minotaur, honestly. Get away from Claw. Ooh. It doesn't matter.
That deserves a hurt.
It's a baby blocker. Now, depending on his financial situation, he may be missing a blocker next game, but 'tis just a rookie.
It's still, I mean, it's a Chorf, so that's that AV that you were talking about that's impenetrable, that Dwarven AV. He's going to hit the Mino.
No, it's different from the Chaos Dwarves, you know?
Oh, is that right?
One of them has like shoulder pads, the other group doesn't. I'm not sure which is which, but
They both got shoulder pads. One's spiky and one's round.
yeah, but the spike gets in the way sometimes, so it's actually more fragile than you think.
Ah, look at that. You called this one, didn't you?
Yeah, look, it's Ryan Fitz. Like, if he had his dirty player available still, like that guy'd be dead right now.
Yeah, I'm surprised he took Morgan and didn't take like 4 bribes or something.
You missed that conversation, Amon. That's what XCon was saying earlier.
It's just the Ryan Fitz classic. Just foul him to death. One of my favorite games of all time that I was involved in was an NBFL game against Ryan Fitz, actually, back in LRB4. And if you gentlemen aren't aware, there used to be a mechanic where the ref would look at a team and watch them after a foul and like watch them closer for the next time. So
I've got my eye on you.
Yeah, exactly. But this game, it started where both teams got the ref, so we didn't give a shit, and we just fouled each other every turn, and oh my goodness, there's a dead player. Apothecary was used, and now he's missing next game. But back to my story, which is more important. We just fouled each other literally every turn because we could. There wasn't any ref to stop us. And so my Dark Elves, for the first time in my career, pitch cleared somebody. And I fouled the bejesus out of Ryan Fitz and pitch cleared him and ended up winning the game. And threw like 12 fouls, which is more than I've thrown in any single NBFL season ever, probably. So it was a...
That's right, because once the ref was gone, there was no more eye on you.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
I forgot about that.
Good times.
You used to also have a ref in first edition that had a ref on the field.
I suppose you could probably take him out, couldn't you?
Right, this could be trouble for Wolves. He could be in a bad spot here. This looks like there might be an opportunity.
There's an opportunity to score if he wants it.
Well, I think that would be giving Fitz the game.
Maybe. I don't overly trust Dwarves to score in 4 turns, and while there is the nice, where is he? Agility 4 Blodge Pro runner, he's not like the 2 runners that OTS has, for example, where one's movement 7 agility 4 and one's like strength 4 agility 4. He's okay, but asking him to get all the way downfield in 4 turns is a little tough.
He's got some tools. He's got the MA6 blitzer, he's got the MA7 blitzer, he's got the runner.
That's fair. But
if
you think the movement 7 blitzer can outrun this movement 8 sprint block surefeet guy, no sir.
I'm not worried about that.
Does he dodge here? That's the big question. Yeah, okay, leave him. I think he was thinking about a dodge.
Maybe. And see, if you do score here, you kind of nullify the effect of the wizard, because now you've gotten your offense out of the way. So you don't have to worry about protecting the ball as much unless you get the ball again, which means you're already in a good position.
Here it goes.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't recommend failing the catch, though.
Ooh.
You probably reroll this, right?
You have to now.
Yeah, you have to. But now, you're going to do the 2 go for it.
Yeah, you'll be fine. This won't fail. It can't fail.
Did you watch that one game in the playoffs, the NCBB last season, where there was like I think it was only 1 go for it?
No, it was 2. It was 2, if I recall.
And it cost that young man the game.
Yeah, but he didn't need to do that then. He was in control. This board was tilting in the favor of Brew More, so I don't blame him for scoring there.
And check the heat.
Yeah, heat's important because 2 blockers are out, plus the Minotaur, in addition to the 2 blockers being out already. Oh, 1 came back. Still, 3 out total. A couple random blockers from Brew More, so...
Didn't Wolves take like an elite blocker, or elite, not blocker, Minotaur not long ago?
maybe 2 seasons ago in the draft. Let me take a peek at his roster. Yeah, trading up for Minotaurs or just drafting Minotaurs in general doesn't seem like a good idea. I'll just throw that out there. If you want a good draft grade, don't take a big.
Noted.
Show past players. Looking for sexy Minotaur. Control find Mino. Oh yes, he took the Pillsbury Doughboy. I'm guessing 2 seasons ago. He had break, tackle, block, guard, dodge, pro. So very good ogre. I mean, he's a good Minotaur too, but he's still a Minotaur. And I think at the time he needed a bull centaur, and so we were very concerned that he made the wrong draft pick. And then this season he goes out and drafts Travis Lewis after already having Andre Tippett on the up and up. And we're like, what are you doing? They're both Project Bull Centaurs. There's no way you're going to do good this season. And now he's the number 2 seed in the AFC. So, you know.
His team is just like, it's so good, man.
You mean his bull centaurs are really good?
I mean, the hobo, he's got 2 good hobgoblins too. I mean, I don't love.
I like that dirty player hobgoblin. Oh, you're talking about the ones in the back. No, those are...
Yeah, the AG4 ones.
No. Russell Wilson, we said, should have been retired the moment Travis Lewis was drafted, but he's stuck around. The old wily vet.
He's set this team up for Elf Ball.
Basically. Which has come in handy a couple times this season because he's needed to outscore people because his blockers have kind of gotten dinged. You've got 2 nice ones in the back with strength 4, but... Rookie on the line is about to get permed. I'm calling it now. There's one that just got permed earlier. And there's another rookie on the bench.
Oh, this is a bad kickoff for Fitz.
Yeah, now he has to go backwards. But the heat does go away, so it won't be a factor later.
And Fitz just needs a tie, so I mean he can grind here and just try to remove players and make it easy for him to score next half.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think you got to try to score, but
I wouldn't try to score at the cost of losing.
That's a good point because if you lose, you're out. So any unnecessary risk may not be worth it.
yeah, I think his 3 turns is plenty of time.
But it's Dwarfs.
That's all right. He's fast Dwarves.
Is he? I mean, there's a couple of movement increases. Well, we're getting a foul. It's Ryan Fitz. What do you expect?
He's going to foul a rookie Chorf?
If you get another blocker out, yeah. Oh.
He's not fouling that rookie Chorf.
Well, he went with the rookie runner, and that guy doesn't know what he's doing, apparently.
That's a good no reroll, though.
On the sure hands pickup?
Oh, yeah. Sure hands. Oops.
Yeah.
See how well I know dwarves? I know all about dwarves.
Yeah.
No, he was right. That was the reroll was good.
Yeah, I always use quotations when I say sure hands because it doesn't work when you want it to.
Well, now overrated skill in Blood Bowl right there. Sure hands.
Actually, I do think Baz hates the damn thing, but he loves things like pass blocks. So I mean, what does he know? He's only the number 1 seed in the AFC and defending champion, and defending NCBB champion. Bold to keep GFI.
Oh, is that something Baz says? I thought I made that all up myself.
I think I've discussed different skills with him before. I don't think he's a big fan of sure hands because you use it once, and then unless you're facing strip ball, which is not that common, what is it doing for you? You know, if you had sure feet, you could use that multiple times on a drive. You're not taking over block. You're not taking over dodge if you have dodge access. I mean, I don't know. I like it because I don't like burning rerolls on frivolous pickups and shit. And you're going for a pickup in a tackle zone. It's Nomad saying it's not overrated. Saves rerolls on pickups and it gets. I mean, it's useful. I understand where Baz is coming from to where it's not prevalent throughout the game.
I think it's pretty overrated too. I mean,
No, if you're 4 agility, it's overrated, but you're 3 agility, I mean that's huge.
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, most of the 3 agility teams have a sure hands player. I mean, I say most, but then I,
Well,
go play Dwarfs or
humans and orcs have that built
Chaos
in.
or
Chaos don't. I think Zon throwers don't. I know they come with pass and dodge. So
pass and dodge. None of the undeads have them.
No. See, Nomad plays undead, so I see why taking on a ghoul makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, well, just roll AG on the ghoul.
Yeah.
Way better. I love this Fitz. Get him. He's
him.
going for the score.
Baz doesn't always use agility teams. He uses lizards. Lizards don't have sure hands access. They have agility 3, so,
Is he going to run the ball with Morg, you think?
I have no idea what he's going to do.
He's going to blitz with Morg.
Oh, yeah, he is.
I would have not been shocked if he had broken AB9 with that. And he's going for the foul before going for the pickup. In a tackle zone. Oh, conventional wisdom. Who needs ye? Alright. Well, Ryan Fitz has the ball. He's got to get someone in scoring position at the end of his next turn. So Von Skinner, you said
he's got somebody in scoring.
Right, but we probably want to get Von Skinner in scoring range, not the Movement 7 guy who's stuck in between a bunch of hairy, bearded men.
Morg in scoring?
I mean, technically, yes, Morg is in range.
Still got 2 rerolls. He's in great position.
And has a wizard if he needs it.
He's just going to Fitz it.
Is that a new phrase we're going to coin?
I like it.
It has to be. He's just going to throw it up. It's going to scatter around. It's going to land in somebody's hand. He'll score.
You may or may not be surprised how many times Fitz scored back in the day with a Saurus long bomb pass.
Fitz magic.
Exactly.
I saw it firsthand.
Nice. Did you enjoy it, or was it against you?
It was against me. He threw like a long bomb to that Altoon guy, and it was like I had him surrounded by bloaters, and it was a 6s all around, and he got it.
Nice. But you still enjoyed it, though, of course.
Well, now I do.
Yeah, just
I made the playoffs.
The sheer majesty of it. But yeah.
No, at the time I wasn't very happy with it.
Well, this is interesting. You're putting your Bull Centaur in harm's way. My life for a block, I guess. Or a blitz in this case. Aggressive reroll, but that is an important player. That is a movement 7 blitzer.
Yeah, I mean, it's also turn,
7.
If he doesn't use him, he loses him.
Yeah. I don't know.
And that was his claw guy, too. So, that's your shot at getting 7 AV on him.
True. I guess you're not really using your rerolls for much else. Although I would have liked to have it for the Hobgoblin in the middle of the field who's prone right now. I would have liked to get in front of Von Skinner. It's not likely. You need a 4+, 3+ to get in front of him, but just to make it harder to score in theory. If you can, I like to swing around and tag the 2 prone players in the middle so they can't adjust. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can dodge, and they both have tackle, but you can make it on it too. You'll be fine. Oh well. I would have preferred to keep the guard guy in place.
Yeah, I probably just stood that Hobgoblin up just so you couldn't move those 3 guys and do some sort of caging.
You would sacrifice your best Hobgoblin?
I think I agree with Amon. You just let him throw blocks at the Hobgoblin and, maybe he fails one.
Eh. Well, either way, we'll see what Ryan Fitz decides to do. He's got to get to... I guess it depends what player, but Mr. Skinner needs to be column 8 and worst. Otaro column 9 at worst. But the less dice you have to roll on turn 8, the better. That's what they tell me, at least.
I think that's the great thing about watching Fitz play is you don't always. He might try to frog one of the bull centaurs. I mean, you have no idea.
Yeah. A lot of people watching. As they should. It's basically the season finale. I've already got my playoff prediction article in the works. It would also not shock me if we get a surf here on the Bull Centaur. Doesn't seem likely, but we get a block here. No. Never mind then. But I guarantee that if he would have pushed him down one, we would have been seeing a dodge from that Troll Slayer to try to surf him. Oh.
Oof.
Oof.
Rerolls into double skulls.
Not good. So we got to knock down this runner, right?
And that's
And
pretty
maybe
much
take
it.
a shot at Morg.
I would just mark the runner and then do the best to knock all those guys down.
I'd like to get Tippett out of there, so what's our best chain opportunity? Coming in from the back, we can hit Nick Folk, and then hit Von Skinner twice, potentially? Yeah, so we can come around, blitz Nick Folk in the back, and chain Andre Tippett southeast. You get a 2-die on Von Skinner with him, and if it fails, you push him into the 2 Hobbs to get more blocks. Or we can do whatever this is. That Claw player is not really doing a whole lot. He does have a casualty somewhere along the way, apparently, though.
Yeah, he permed or missed next game the lineman.
That's right. That's actually a pretty key player. That's one of Fitz's few guard blockers. In fact, I'm looking around and I think it's his only guard blocker, which goes back to why Baz thought this team for sure could not win. Like a dwarf team that doesn't just load up on block, like that's just like the basic formula.
Well, they start with block X.
I'm pretty sure I meant to say guard, and I'm just not paying attention.
I'm a big jerk.
Yeah, pretty sure I meant to say guard there. They don't have a lot of guard, and that's how you win with dwarves, right? You just have a lot of guard. Teams can't block you, and then you just slowly chip away at them. And then Fitz said, "I'll just boot everyone to death."
What is that? Are Fitz and Brasky the same person?
The second half whiskey, I mean, it is definitely a tradition that both of them seem to follow. Fitz was in the league first, I believe, so it's entirely possible that Brasky's just an imitator.
Bro, you better be happy Brasky does not Discord.
Yeah, he definitely does not. He barely fumble PMs sometimes.
I've never had trouble getting a hold of him on Fumble PM.
It's true. I guess he's just kind of the last person to do graduates in NCBB along with Crichton. They're notoriously always the last two.
That's tough. That's tough. You pushed him the wrong way.
Yeah, that's maybe he's thinking surf.
Yeah, just one die him here. Push
One
him.
dime and then blitz him off.
And surf him, yeah. I mean, there's no way that could have gone wrong in any form or fashion.
Well, yeah.
It's only dumb if it doesn't work, X. Oh, man.
Okay.
Nah.
That definitely makes scoring pretty difficult here.
Nah, Morg's still in range. He's got this.
I've heard you say that about 8 times now. What's with your fascination in getting Morg a touchdown?
I don't know. Why not? He's the guy that's there.
Have you ever read any Blood Bowl fluff? Morg is the god.
Thank you, Amon. Thank you.
I thought Griff was like.
Well, Griff's number one.
How is there number one and a god?
Because you have Morg and you have Griff.
So which one's Jesus and which one's God?
Well, I think in this universe there's neither.
No. There's only the Chaos Gods, right? Did anyone catch the Slanesh trailer today? I am so excited.
I seen they're making a Age of Sigmar game.
Boring. Probably. I never really looked into the whole Age of Sigmar thing. And he just straight up one dies a Bull Centaur.
I'll be an injury.
That would be glorious.
The random one die block, no money blow, perm. Classic
you
stuff.
You gotta do the block stop too.
Classic stuff.
Close.
So I guess we're just dodging out and re-rolling that, and then throwing a long bomb to Morg, who's also got to dodge out and catch the ball, and didn't work. That rookie, he seems to be the weak link of the team right now. He's not really doing his job right. Sure hands didn't work. Tried to fail to dodge. Didn't make the pass. He's going to get replaced during the draft, I expect.
Yeah, and if I'm Asti, I'm feeling pretty good about my chances.
Well, now that the blockers are back from the heat exhaustion, they got some IVs or something during that drive. I definitely think Wolves has a pretty good chance of getting out of here with a dub, unless Ryan Fitz just absolutely beats him off the field, which is also incredibly possible.
Yeah, you got to roll.
Fitz in the chat actually saying, now I got to kill all of them, and that Wolves brought it out himself.
He tried elfing with him, and elfing failed.
Yep, so now we just got to teach him a lesson. Wow, 28 missed messages in my work group chat.
You know, I was getting my mic to work earlier. I heard you talking about Morg being more in 2020, and it's interesting how Griff is also more in 2020. A lot of teams, having minimum skills and low TV, and then just taking Griff, and that seems to be a pretty good build.
Garbage ass rule set if that's the meta then, but that's fine.
Yeah, Griff is a X. I think. Man, this is a knee jerk. It's a knee jerk. They've made the stars so much better because they were such trash. They're such trash now. So they knee jerked it, and they went too far the other way with it. And next rule set, maybe they'll get it right. I don't know.
Maybe. I just don't understand why, in a game where you're building your own team and leveling them up and all this stuff, it's just like, nah. Screw your own team. Just hire these star players, and it's like, why? I want to build my own Griff, and I want a Andre Tippett or a Vin Riddick or all these cool guys I can call my own. I don't want to be like, well, just get Griff every time.
Well, for tabletop, I think the NAF meta is sort of more the meta. And obviously, we still have NBFL.
Is it the meta because it's popular, or is it the meta because there's no other global way to play the game outside of going down the street and being like, hey, Tim, you want to play a game of tabletop?
Right. Exactly.
So if you're telling me that there was like a NAF competitor but played at like 1700, it wouldn't be more popular than this 1300 or whatever bullshit.
If it was, then it would, but it's not.
Is it not because no one started it? Or, I mean, this is still a very niche game that not a lot of people play.
I mean, the NAF's been around for a long time, dude. I'd imagine somewhere along the line they've tried, high TV NAF. A lot of the guys I talk to, the Euros, they hate high TV.
Well, they're Europeans, so I don't value their opinion on anything.
Well, you're not wrong to devalue a European's opinion. I'm just saying that, most people are in like England. They can hop on a train and be across the country in like
A minute?
literally 10 minutes, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it would take me longer to get halfway across my state than it would for them halfway across their country, so.
Right. And so the population is, they're doing these daytime tournaments. And have you ever played a game with tabletop?
Absolutely not.
It's a lot to keep up with.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, you guys!
Oh my
I've
God.
been a fly on the wall for a little bit, and I have to pop up here. None of you have played tabletop.
Look, I know you're like the Chaos Cup commissioner and all this stuff. No, I don't have time to collect and paint these little miniatures. I think I have like 7 Wood Elf miniatures from Warhammer Fantasy from 2008 range.
Jeffro, tell him what a pain in the butt it would be to keep up with 30 skills on a tabletop game.
I'm just asking for 1700. I'm not asking for NBFL level. I just want my players to be able to do their job. I don't want players to be like not have block, not have guard.
The last tournament that I played in, Underworld, which is the longest running NAF tournament in the United States, is a progressive tournament. So 5 rounds.
Okay.
And I think everybody started, it's tiered. I hate tiers, but so be it. I think everybody starts around 1300.
Aww.
And you add 60K of skills to your team each round. You can bank it. So if you don't want to spend your 60K and you want to spend, save up 150K to buy a wizard in a future round, you can do that. Or you can throw 20K of skills on 3 different players each round. Any variation of that. So all of the teams end up being around 1,500, 1,600, I think, something like that, by round 5.
That's a little
which
better.
which is rather fun. It's very fun. And with regards to keeping up with skills, anybody who plays Fumble on a regular basis, anybody in the NBFL, not going to have any issue with keeping up with skills. But a lot of these people that only play NAF tournaments, that are only keeping track of 6 or 8 different skills aside from what players and teams come with on, basics, it's mind-blowing.
So basically you're telling me
shit.
that these low TV tournament Euro guys, their brain's not big enough is what you're telling me. They just can't handle the complexity of higher TV and more skills.
The meta of randomness and the randomness that extra skills throw into the game, some people think that detracts from the coaching ability. The true measure of a coaching skill is at low TV, minimal number of skills, and that is
chess with elves.
Well, they're wrong.
Exactly.
They're wrong.
They are wrong.
I mean, if
By the way,
throwing a 2-die block and throwing more both downs results in you losing the game, that's not coaching.
Listen, I adore low TV. You guys are talking to the wrong guy.
Well, now that I got other people here, you can get out. I don't need you anymore.
Well, I mean, I like the NBFL too, but I also I really love low TV. I really love, are you smart enough to do the easiest thing first. Like, can you even, handle that basic concept of like, I'm going to move guys before I start blocking with no block. I'm going to do this or that before I start.
That's literally Blood Bowl 101.
I'm not taking trash blocks because I need to score.
Well, except aren't you the type that would also get frustrated when somebody decides to, you know what? I'm going to make that 6+ dodge. And you're like, what? 6+ dodge? Why would you even do that? And then they roll it and they roll a 6 and then they do something wacky and then they score on you and you're like, well, that shouldn't have happened.
Well,
That
look,
No,
Eric,
I'm not
don't
at all.
talk
I'm the guy that
about
says-
Ryan Fitz like that.
Exactly.
I'm not that guy at all. I'm the guy that says, look, if the 6+ dodge is the play to make, then you got to make the 6+ dodge.
Yeah.
I've done it before. I've dodged a Saurus into a 2-dice block because that's my only play.
Yeah, gotta do what you gotta do.
I'm just saying, don't take that as a first. Your primary thing shouldn't be to dodge your AG6, Strength 4, MA 8 Dark Elf Blitzer in and do something weird and have it work. Like,
Well, sometimes
who
you
has
really
that kind
want
of
to.
player?
I don't know who would have that kind of player. It sounds like an awful person, but I think they're just different kinds of dicey. Like, it's a dice game, it's a gambler's game, and knowing when to take the shots is what the game is all about, basically.
Absolutely.
And low TV and high TV are just different kinds of dicey, and I like the low TV because it's basic, which is appealing to me for some reason.
To each
So
their
have
own,
you
I
not
guess.
played any tabletop either?
Yeah, I played a game of sevens today on the pitch you sent me.
Yay!
I played Camry, and my opponent was playing Lizardman.
How'd that go?
Camry had
Wait,
7.
I was gonna say sevens with
shit.
Camry.
He was a very, very new to the game, and I got the draw. Was proud of that.
Impressive that you're cherry picking in tabletop too, as well as Blood Bowl 2020.
Look, we had just talked about how Frank down the street's the only guy who will play with me, so
Yeah, that's the thing about tabletop is you're just glad if you can get 5 games in a year.
See, that's the thing though. This game, as cool as it is, tabletop is dead.
No,
It's
not.
2021. You can hop online and play a fumble game instantly against people around the world. There's the Blood
I
Bowl.
love
There's the
putting
Blood
together
Bowl 2
models.
game.
I love painting minis. I love printing minis.
That's adorable. But
I
I've
like
just
being able to just
organized 2 tournaments in the United States during a pandemic, pseudo-pandemic this year, and we got the largest turnout for a tournament in North America.
how many people?
We had 110 people,
That's awesome.
and none of them dropped. There were people hung over on Sunday morning, and they still showed up to play their games, even if they were on the bottom tables. They did not give a shit. So tabletop is not dead.
It's dead. It's a
Yeah.
silly format when you have technology like this available.
It's a different scale, right? So your tabletop is your artesian, and it's more slow
We-
paced.
You
And
you
We are
don't-
social creatures.
Correct.
Humans are social creatures.
What are we doing right now? We're socializing.
We're talking, and yes, absolutely.
Yeah, we're talking online in a game you can play online that is easier, better, simpler. Like online, if you took Blood Bowl and wrote it to be an online progressive league like Fumble, the rulebook would be better than this low TV, let's make Underworld viable kind of bullshit. Like, no one wants snotlings.
They triple nerfed Underworld in the last update.
Oh, what a shame. What a shame. Is
Just
there a game?
good.
Is there a game still going on here? No.
Yeah, and Jerry Philbin was thrown out.
He was thrown out for perming somebody or something. Or badly hurting another blocker. I don't know, man. When it's 2021, I think you should be designing a rule set around how games are played now and in the future. And that's online. But I'm also a
I'm
dude who
not-
plays games online constantly, so.
Well, I'm not going to argue against the fact that there are more games played online on a regular basis. I mean, and shoot, Fumble got me back into tabletop, to be honest.
There you go.
Once I met Duder through Fumble and realized, oh shit, you're in Minnesota? Do you still have the toys? He's like, oh yeah, I make my own toys. He carves his own things and builds them out of Sculpey. He was running a stunty tournament.
Ugh.
Exactly.
Look,
Like, talk about niche.
look,
You think
look,
Blood
man.
Bowl's niche?
I don't know what your favorite tabletop team that you've ever used is. I imagine most of them, aren't like a progression-based one. It's just kind of like show up and have 0 skills. But that team can't be dear to your heart like the Black Panther Party was to me. I loved watching your Pro Elf team here. Like, that's Blood Bowl to me. Like, it was crazy. You were going for it. You got these awesome players. It was competitive league for, an imaginary Super Bowl, but it was fun watching them. And it's just not
just
not
as
the
much
same.
fun playing Pro Elves on the tabletop.
You just keep forgetting what skills everybody has and to move your turn marker.
Pretty good at remembering skills. Turn marker, yeah, totally. After a few drinks, you're just like, oh fuck, what turn is it?
So are you those guys who would call the penalty on the turn marker, or would you just not give a crap?
So here's my rule. If you catch somebody not moving their turn marker, then you are allowed to raise both of your arms and scream, illegal procedure, as loud as you can at them, and then you are allowed to move their turn marker. But other than that, like, no penalty, no.
Yeah, see, Jeffro, Kid Crest Hill, when we played in our league, it was like, you were done. Stop your turn right there.
Yeah, see, that's a great way to get people to not play against you anymore.
Well, there was like 6 of us who played, right? I mean, there's like 6 people, and we were lucky to have 3.
So why would somebody be the black hat like that? Like, you don't need a JR in a 6-person league. You need I'm not even sure you need a JR in a 32-person league, but...
Well, we could talk about what life was like in like 1995, but,
I was 5 years old then. Also, that was the last time the Cowboys were good. Got us.
Yeah. No, but yeah, it was like they used to get me on that. They get me a couple drinks, and it was they knew. They knew. It's like go.
They knew his weakness.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I definitely like Jeffro's version more. It seems like such a good time just yelling illegal procedure as loud as you can yell it, and that sounds fun.
It's fun. I've done that in a Hooters.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that had to have drawn some. What are you guys doing? Oh, hanging out with models.
Nice.
No, actually, I had to meet one of my league mates, and he couldn't drive very far. He's like, oh, I can't go anywhere. It's close. And I was like, well, what's close to your house? And he's like, oh, nothing. And I was like, what's your address? And I looked it up, and I was like, there's a Hooters 5 minutes from you. Oh my God, we are going to Hooters and we're playing. I will meet you there at 6 o'clock. We'll be dinner time, and we'll just go and we'll play. There'll be a game on, and we're watching. I threw out the mat in the middle of a thing. I was like, talked to the waitress. I was like, we're going to camp here, and I'm going to order beer and order food, and we're going to play a game with little toys. Are you okay with that? And she was like, oh, sure. Yeah. What are your toys? And I pulled them out, and I showed them to her. She's like, oh my gosh. Did you paint these yourselves? Yep. Totally bragging about it with a nerd, and we had girls leaning over us the whole time. Gary was...
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
Okay.
None of us went home with them for cry-eye. They were all probably 15 years younger than I was, too, so...
Oh, there's another injury. That's a lot of blockers off the field.
Yeah, this is looking grim for poor old Fitzy.
Wait.
No, I think it's looking grim. Well, I mean, Wolves doesn't care.
He only cares if someone gets permed, but... Yeah, Fitz looks like he's going to walk down the field and get this tie and knock old Asti out of the playoffs. But that's what happens when you start your team with 12 or whatever frenzy players. It might have been 14 because I think just the catchers didn't have it.
Wow, I can't count, can I?
No, not really. But counting's not important in Blood Bowl, right?
Not at all.
It's totally overrated compared to the alphabet. Know the alphabet. That's all you need to know.
That's assuming you mark players, which some people don't. Gark.
No, I don't mark players. You can just hover over them. I don't know if you know that, but you can hover over them and it shows their skills.
You can what?
Yeah, just take your cursor and put it on the guy, and it shows you what they have.
He's brilliant. This changes everything.
It's crazy.
How do people even like? You're a hoverer?
Yeah, they didn't. When I started playing this, they didn't have all that stuff. Back in 1800s.
You and Benjamin Franklin throw down some tabletop Blood Bowl?
Yeah, pretty much. So you had to hover, and I've just always hovered. Probably explains my win-loss ratio.
Well, there's a couple people here who are in the playoffs, and there's a couple who's not. So no joke's on us, I guess. Speaking of people who are in the playoffs, Nomad, got any thoughts on your future matchup? I don't even know who your matchup is. I need to get to that part of my article.
Atlanta.
Oh, well, that's already done. Easy win.
I don't know. He's got better players than I do at the moment.
But it's playoff Nelfing. Do we need to recap the history?
Nelfing's not a big game guy.
We'll see. I just hate 4 and 5 agility stunny that can just, not have to worry about tackle zones.
Skinks aren't that good. Don't worry about them.
Well, I try to kill them as often as possible.
Oh man, we're getting a block on Morg. Which, if you get him down, you don't have to worry about him the next couple turns, and you get the bull and the hobgoblin back, so not bad. Well, that's not ideal. Jeffro, were you here? I see you in the chat.
I am.
Okay. How was your first season?
I'm not
with...
watching in the game.
Oh, I don't care about the game. How was your first season with Dark Elves?
It was good. I hadn't played Dark Elves that much. I had maybe 20 games or so in ranked, and I think I played them in a tournament and like 2-2-2 or some shit. So it was a little different than Pro Elves, just because they're not as quite the baller type,
right?
Except for my stat freak. And then once I was like, oh no, I need to just lean on him and not give a shit if he dies. If he dies, doing things like leaping into cages and one die blitzing things and retrieving the ball. If he dies, then so be it, because that's what he needs to do. Okay. So we're gonna balance this glass on the top of my head and run down the block, and if it falls, it falls.
How was balancing Julio Jones and Tom Mack? It was interesting to me when you took those two because they seemed to overlap a little bit, and just based on the stats, Tom Mack did not have a very remarkable season. Just completion, 1 touchdown, 3 casualties, 3 MVPs, while Julio Jones over there, as you said, key to your team with 13 touchdowns, 3 completions. So
Yeah.
what did Tom Mack spend most of the season doing?
Sitting in the KO box.
Oh.
And tapping the keg. That's what he did. Like, I could probably count. He had probably 2 times as many failed KO rolls as Julio Jones had touchdowns on the season.
Wow.
Tom Mack would dodge and fail, and I was like, well, he's just going to hit the ground. Oh, he's going to break himself. Oh, he's KO'd himself. Oh, touchdown was scored, and Tom Mack's staying in KO'd. So, like, if you really wanted to meta it and go back and see how many turns Tom Mack actually played over the season, that's going to be a sad, sad stat.
I think we can actually look that up at season's end. The script that pulls out the stats will definitely pull turns too. I know for sure
that would be really interesting to see.
We usually get a turns played for like the team, but I'm sure there's a way to get it for each team too, or each player rather.
If you can get it for each player on my team, I can almost guarantee you that Tom Mack is on the lowest end of turns played of the majority of any of my starters easily.
All right. Well, we'll see if we can't get that information. I know Kazarek in the past has pulled that, I believe. So.
I know. I mean, I got, people questioned why I took him. I took him because I wanted a Swiss Army knife. I wanted, I still am a firm believer that in 2016 rules, it's a baller's game.
Right.
Second season's definitely more bash heavy, but 2016 is a baller's game, and stats are key in high TV leagues.
Yeah, I'm finding
so
that out
I
way.
went for stats. That was the one thing I did not like about Corn in the 3 seasons that I played. It was just like, holy shit, can I please just have a strength 4 player not die?
Yeah.
Because I just want to, like, one would be great. And now that this new Corn has 4 strength 4 players with Frenzy and fucking Happy Grew is like, oh, well, maybe I'll play Corn. No, he should not be allowed to play Corn. He should not be allowed
he didn't suffer.
to move through playing apes and then go to the shiny new toy. He should be disallowed.
Look, man, I know
thoughts.
Happy Grew. He's good, obviously. He's really fucking good. But he's kind of handicapped himself with... I'm not even sure frogs are a handicap. I know they're just very weird for people to grasp, and
frogs are not a handicap.
They're not easy either, but Simeon are definitely a handicap.
They're not.
He's definitely handicapping himself with Simeon.
They're not. They're not at a high team value. They're not a handicap because he's got 4 strength 4 players with grab, and how many of them have dodge?
2
and block.
4.
Exactly. He's got so much power and expendable stuff.
All his linos are AV7. The rest of his team is AV8. He's got movement 7 at most. There's so many weaknesses on the roster. That's why no one plays them. Also because they're not allowed in ranked and box.
He has 2 die blocks at will, and he can reposition you and your team with all the grab.
There's definitely some pros to the roster.
The weird thing about, here's the similarities between Slan and Simeon. Those tertiary skills are great en masse once you have the basics on the rest of your team. So the mass grab and the mass extra arms that he has on his team is a huge boon once everybody else has block and dodge and whatnot. And then you throw stats on top of it, and it's just an embarrassment of riches.
So that's the hardest thing about Grew's team is Devontae.
Yeah, Devontae Adams, obviously.
5 strength. That's hard to deal with.
But I mean, it's also hard to deal with just the gorilla contingent.
Yeah.
The gorillas, to me, aren't as big a deal as having Devontae being able to get around everyone with his speed and drop frenzy strength 5 on you.
He wasn't always strength 5.
No doubt. No doubt. It's an embarrassment of riches
It is.
on somebody who is a very,
about,
very good coach.
With the difference between 2016 and 2020, how many stat players are there going to be with the new rules?
I guess we're going to find out. I don't know, Jeffro. Apes have certainly some pros, but I think they have so many cons that most mortals would not be doing well with them. So I view them as a slight handicap, especially considering that he's won 0 Super Bowls with them so far, and he won 6 with the damn Frogs. Or 5.
He hasn't won any Super Bowls with the Simians yet?
He got to one last season for the first time and ended up losing in overtime to Baz, if I recall. But he has not won one yet. Not for lack of effort. He's pretty much... I think he's made the playoffs every time. So he's getting close, but the team's weaknesses... Yeah, but the team's weaknesses end up catching up to him or something. I don't know.
True. But I mean, here's the other thing. Like, we were talking about like the second season rules and star players being the new meta for leagues and tabletop, and take the star players and blah blah blah. Regardless, a good coach is a good coach.
Yeah.
Somebody who knows how to play and knows how to minimize risk and take the shot when they see it. Those good coaches are going to do well regardless of whether they have a star player or not, whether they have a stat or not. So like, I'm not by any means disparaging Happy Goose coaching. I don't think I've ever fucking beaten the dude with anything.
Yeah.
So
whether they're playing high TV or low TV, none of that matters.
Right. A good coach is going to do well regardless.
I'm not sure the new corner roster is going to be good either, but it's certainly not the dog shit that we tried to put up with.
Oh, it's absolutely not the dog shit.
No, it was brutal. Now, losing AV8 linos for 7 is not ideal, but it's worth the trade-off for getting everything else.
Yeah.
The strength 4, not having that naturally, was the biggest... Well, it was among the biggest problems for the old roster. I'm not going to say it was the most, but it's like watching Astaflix when he was going on his run to the Super Bowl. You have strength 4 guys to start your turn with, and so you get that guy down, and all of a sudden, you get a 2-die block with your next guy. And then the next guy. And it just starts the chain. And when you don't have that, it becomes a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, teams with strength 4 naturally are just... They're just the best.
It's debatable.
Well, you have strength 5, so...
Well, I think high agility players have a higher ceiling than high strength players.
Maybe.
Well, touchdowns win games.
They have a lot more potential to win the game for you than a strength 5 player.
So, for example, would you rather have, like, take a human blitzer. Would you rather have a strength 4 human blitzer with agility 3, or strength 3 with agility 4?
That's a hard one, to be honest.
Because there's pros and cons, because you have the extra agility for the 2+, and let's say you have tackle.
4 agility on 7 MA. There's a lot you can do with that.
I'm not sure what fits.
Humans are a weird example too. Like the human blitzer. Like, okay, would you rather have a strength? Would you rather have a strength 2 human catcher with agility 4, or strength 3 human catcher with, or strength 2 human catcher with?
Where are you going?
What am I trying to say?
You're doing
the same thing.
Are you saying like wood elf catcher versus high elf catcher kind of thing, or like what are you going for?
By far,
no, like your human example, like the catcher you want agility on, the blitzer you want strength on. They're a weird example.
Not always.
I think you want agility on. I think I'd rather have agility on the blitzer.
That's what I'm saying. Agility on the blitzer can get him to the ball carrier easier than 4 strength.
Yeah. Now, strength 4 does have merit. You can punch a hole somewhere, or you don't need the assist to start your turn, which is the biggest advantage of strength 4. You don't have to
Or
use two
he's guard
pieces.
too, and then he's strength forward with guard, and he's a big pain in the butt.
Yeah, I mean that's the
Strength
thing
forward,
about
guard,
strength
stand
forward.
firm. That's the blitzer I want.
That's the source I want. But
Right. Well, I would actually prefer a 9 MA blitzer personally, but
so you would take MA over either of the two stats?
in some situations, definitely. Just the ability to get to the blitzer or to get out of range of other people can change the game just as much.
That's fair.
That'll be the interesting.
Plus, it's cheaper.
Exactly. With second season, that's one of the things. Like strength is going to be 80K, but MA I think might only add what 30K.
Yeah,
Something like that.
I would definitely take
If we're
a 9
talking,
MA tackle blitzer.
if we're
maybe
talking
your
value though,
fourth- Yeah, but do you
sure,
know
sure
how
feet, sure feet's obviously better than MA though, because it's cheaper and basically does the same thing. Obviously, right?
No.
9
Oh, a
MA?
little bit.
And remember, 9 MA is the max now, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So, I mean, you get to have a blitzer that no one can outrun.
He's got a point. Also, they
Yeah,
nerfed-
but everybody's
they nerfed
going to have that
Shaq.
player now because MA is the first thing that you can roll. Like, you can roll, no matter what random, you can almost always take MA.
All I said is I don't know
Right.
how often, what kind of stat players you're going to have in the new rule set.
You're going to have a bunch of MA9 blitzers is what you're going to have.
I'd like a
Yeah,
bunch of
you're
plus
going to have
AV
much more MA.
key players, honestly.
And, like, agility, too. So, like, your ball carrier is going to roll it, right? Because just like Jeffro said, it's like in a bash, meta, your baller is the guy that's really important. And so he's going to go after the stats. You guys go look at Aceflix has his orc team.
Hold up. What did you
He's
just call him? What did you just call him?
Aceflix.
Okay, continue on.
Go look at his orc team, and he's got this stupid blitzer on there that's MA8, AG4, and all he took was stats on it, and it's awesome.
I think you need one of those, especially if you're going higher TV. You need a Vin Riddick on like teams like this. Like
I won my last game, and Vin Riddick, he just took a nap the whole game. Just watched.
You need a Julio Jones on teams. How about that? The point is, I've not been fortunate for the most part with getting stats on my frogs naturally, or really even in the draft, and so trying to do it with like team and scheme and stuff just has not worked out for me. And then I got a double stat blitzer who died in 4 games, so not everyone's meant to have nice shiny things. Okay, Ryan Fitz is struggling more than I remembered 2 turns ago when I was paying attention. So what's going on here?
I told you guys way earlier in this that it was looking grim for Fitz, and you guys didn't believe me.
I'm pretty sure you got the names backwards. That's a good song, by the way.
Could be.
Who is playing that?
Here's where he needs guard. If he had
keep
guard, he'd be
playing
in
it.
a
Whoever that is.
much better position.
Oh, so Baz's prediction of his team not being good because of lack of guard is finally coming to fruition after 13 long weeks.
He was playing the long game.
Classic Baz. Always outsmarting everybody. This is I'm assuming been impressive. I have not honestly been paying attention, but considering that Wolves has been down 3 blockers for much of this game, whether due to heat or injury or both, he's scrapping pretty good here. Especially considering he has nothing to gain from this game. He only has players to lose for his playoff opener.
Everybody likes to pee in somebody else's Wheaties, bud.
Yeah.
That's what Blood Bowl is all about.
Yeah, I mean, last season I didn't have much to gain in my season finale against OTS, and I may have sent my team the opposite direction of his Dwarves several times, and he ended up winning. He got a playoff spot because of it, and then he beat Nelfine in an upset in the wild card, so clearly I'm contributing to Nelfine's problems on purpose.
Poor Nelfine. He's such a good guy too.
Yeah, he's been great to talk to whenever I've needed strategy or just talking with him about whatever. And he does a lot of help for us with different leagues, and he's a great guy. He's been unlucky so far.
Just can't win the big one.
No, neither could Baz apparently, and then he's won 2 big ones. And he's trying to win a 3rd.
Baz wins things. He won, the
But-
major, and then he won he won a rookie Royal Rumble recently.
But in the NBFL, I'm assuming he's messaged some of you at different times. Like, he's obviously been very displeased with the fact that he couldn't win Super Bowls over the years, and now that he's finally done it, all of a
The
sudden
floodgates are open now,
yeah,
bud.
it's like, wait a second, he's not losing at all anymore. I want to go back to the way it was.
Yeah, I think Baz will probably try something new, especially if he wins a Super Bowl again, which he's got to be the favorite, right?
Well, I guess you can find out when my playoff preview article comes out tomorrow.
Oh no! Don't do it to him.
Self
Don't do
promotion,
it.
baby. Well, I got to do it to somebody. I could curse Carolina for all I know. I haven't
You're not
finished.
cursing Carolina. Carolina's going to be lucky to win a game in the playoffs. You see, we got this brutal dwarf team we got to play. I got all this dodge on my team. It's useless.
What a waste. Well, oh yeah, by the way, he still has a wizard, so he could clear a path on his final turn. So if Wolves feel so inclined, he needs to take a shot here, I guess. Doesn't have
I had a
tackle.
friend once who said that wizards are all drunks and assholes.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
So you can't trust the wizard.
No, but it's a nice tool to have when you can just throw it out there and see what happens and then adjust accordingly on the final turn.
We'll see what happens.
So the play I'm seeing, and it's not ideal because you're going to start a turn with a Minotaur, but you take your Minotaur block and you get Mark. I mean, you can knock him down. You don't even have to, but basically you need to mark Harry, the blitzer, below the ball. And then you come around the back from Andre Tippett, you 2-die the ball and hope to pow him, I guess. Although I guess you need to mark the Slayer too. I don't like this plan anymore. It's not very good.
Got to do the Mino dodge.
He does have break tackle, so you certainly could. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You'd have to GFI to hit him.
Get it to the Haba and then punt it.
Yeah, I mean, it's technically something you could do.
Well, we don't have great options right now.
Not really. But I think he was going to do your plan. Damn. Reminds me of the Bloodthirster. So many times where it's like, yes, I've got a player who can overpower anything on the... and he rolled a 1.
Oh, Wolves will still one turn.
Oh yeah, that's a thing. Ryan Fitz doesn't have a ton of stand firm. He does have a sidestep there, stand firm there. Morg is there, basically stand firm. Yeah, it's certainly possible with a movement 8 sprint sure feed bull centaur. Guess this is about as good as you're going to get. So we'll see what Ryan Fitz decides to do here.
Oh, that kind of hurt.
Didn't help. But Got Morg to potentially block off the bull or the blocker.
I don't know why he's saving the wizard, I guess.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the option pops up at the start of your turn, so it's not like you can
Well, I
legit
guess
forget about it.
he probably
No,
thinks he's scoring.
He's forgotten it. He's forgotten he's had it.
But there's a pop-up.
Yeah.
Wait, it's at the end of your... Is it at the end or the beginning? Or both?
No, your turn ends when you use the wizard. It's at the end of your turn.
Okay.
I know, because I tried to play a game of Blood Bowl 2 once, and the way theirs works is it's just like in the corner,
Okay.
and I got trigger happy with it. I didn't know what I was doing, and I was like, ooh, look, I'll just, I got a wizard, let me try it. It was my first ever game of Blood Bowl 2.
Okay.
Used it, my turn was over, and I was like, why is my turn over?
That's not in the rules. That's a weird implementation of it.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. Oof.
And
Yeah, I think he's saving it for the OTT.
But he would never get to prompt to use it because it's his opponent's turn.
I thought you could use it. Yeah, I don't know.
Pretty sure you can't use it.
I quit trying to think of what he's thinking.
Yeah, I mean, that's usually useless. Oh, wow. I guess he also remembers that 6+ long bomb that he used against you, Amon, based on the game.
Oh yeah, that was epic.
What's it like running a team where teams just can't do what they normally do against you? You got all the disturbing presence and the foul appearance, and there was one time I remember I was playing Nurgle in the NCBB, and I was like, oh shit, I'm in a bad spot. I'm just gonna go run down and hand the ball off to the skink down here. Oh my god, it was a -2 because these guys are relatively close to him. That was a
It only works
feeling.
when people know about it. When people forget about it, then it doesn't matter.
Huh.
Because I know Fitz had no idea that I had all those disturbing presence in both the thrower and the catcher's tackle zones.
Damn. Didn't matter though. Just roll 6s.
Yeah, fall appearance is the same way.
Never worked when you needed to.
Well, guys, it was fun. I'm going to bed.
Yeah, it is pretty late for you, I suppose. You working tomorrow?
No, I'm off. I still got to get 2 youngins up and ready for school. And
All right. Well, it's been fun, Wog. Make sure to read the article tomorrow. Maybe I'll surprise you, and maybe I won't.
I'm sure you're going to put together a nice article.
I try. It's been fun, and I've never been correct, apparently, but, one of these days, maybe.
Hey, they never thought Boz would win a Super Bowl, so there you go. It could happen.
It could happen.
Later, sir. I'm out of here as well.
All right, Jeffro.
See you, Jeffro.
I'll read the stuff, and we'll see you. Take it easy, gents.
Take care. And there they go. Well, in the game that we were clearly discussing heavily throughout most of the broadcast, we've got a 1-turn attempt potentially by the Chaos Dwarfs to win this game. A win wouldn't change anything for them, but a little bit of pride perhaps on the line.
Well, I think if you knock out Fitz, that's a big deal.
Maybe as the
that's a
seed.
feather.
Wolves is the 2 seed. Who would he face? I may have it in the article.
I think it's Fitz because it's last in.
Maybe. If Fitz ties, he's at 53, so he'd be 7, so there would be a rematch. If Fitz wins, he's tied at 57 with Bleaksburg, and that's Kazarik. I'm not sure what their tiebreaker is. But if Fitz loses...
Well, he can't win. I don't see how he can win.
You're right. I'm just looking at the numbers. Correct. So at this point, we're looking at a rematch unless Wolves pulls off the 1-turn, in which case he would face Astaflix instead of Ryan Fitz. Or however Wog incorrectly pronounced his name.
I never know how people pronounce their own.
Well, apparently there's a guy who joined mid-season in the chat. It's like, I've always pronounced it like canine, but apparently Wog the other day, just the genius, he was like, it's canine. And I'm like, wow, I never saw that. But I swear it was like hyphenated, although I don't think it is actually.
I thought it was canine too.
Yeah. Where is he in the chat? I don't even see him. Am I missing him? There he is. Canine. Yeah, I mean, you could easily read that as canine, and I just been reading it as canine for whatever reason. Regardless, we'll see what Wolves can come up with here.
Well, he's got the grab guys, and then he's got the bowl back. Well, I'm not crazy about where that bowl's at, but let's see. I mean, he can do it.
That doesn't help.
Oh God, that's always over.
I mean, you've got sure feet, so
yeah, but 3 times at 3+. He can get the ball.
Ryan Fitz asking why he can't use his wizard. Because it's not your turn, my guy. You can only use it at the start or end of your turn.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
He's going to 1 die, try to grab Morg.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah. Well, wizard blunders aside, it looks like Ryan Fitz will be getting into the playoffs here with a tie and facing this very Chaos Dwarf team again.
Yeah, I'm sure Fitz is going to ask if he can keep his wizard for next game.
I have a feeling he's going to be down enough TV to where he can get another one.
Yeah, so what's the fallout? So he's going to miss a really good... Fitz is going to miss a really good lineman, probably his best lineman.
True.
And really, Wolves doesn't have anything happen because he can just
buy a new rookie blocker.
Yep.
In theory. Doesn't look like he has money problems. I mean, you've got to foul that Troll Slayer here, right?
Oh, absolutely.
I think you still have your Blitz action, too. I'm assuming. So we go for the AV8 Blitzer with some sort of Mighty Blow. There's a Claw guy, I guess. Yeah, use the Claw guy, hit that Blitzer. And then foul the Troll Slayer. And give Fitz more inducements next time. Damn. Claw guy's been pushing a lot today.
I tend to do that sometimes.
Oh yeah. Get him. Well, these two rosters will be meeting each other quite soon again. Playoff rematch in the wildcard round of the AFC. It's going to be an interesting bracket for sure. So, it's been fun. We got a tie here. Ryan Fitz makes the playoffs as the 7th seed. And the regular season is essentially over. So, playoff preview coming tomorrow, hopefully. Playoff bracket, I'm assuming, is tonight, tomorrow, etc., etc. It's been fun. Amon, Jeffro, and Wog were here earlier, along with Nomad. Take care, gents, and good luck if you are in the playoffs.
Thanks so much, man. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Take care.